and welcome back, everyone. Look, I'd like to welcome back all my special guests who've just been absolutely amazing this show, and I'm really honoured by the fact that not only they've given up their time to be on the show today, but who have been really open and honest with themselves, and they're just sharing themselves live on radio as if, we're playing a game live in the lounge room together. And it sort of feels a bit that way, actually, like we're all just sitting around the lounge room playing the game. So I'd like to welcome everyone back. Doug, I want to welcome you back in particular at the moment. Do you want to just come back on for a second, Doug?
Yeah.
Doug, you've been involved with conversations from everyone playing the longest amount of time other than myself. I just want you to share everything before we go into the third cycle, just your experience with the game over the last few years.
Well, I've found that every time I play a game that me and the people who are playing it, it seems that whatever is really going on in the life or whatever is really in our face, even if we can't see it, seems to come up during the game. And I found it a really nice way to connect to people on that heart level, and we're all there kind of supporting each other in a way. And when we realize that, or at least when I realize all the stuff that's going on, it really helps me to shift my perspective, because so many times I can hear other people's different points of view on the same thing, and then it allows me the opportunity to look at things at a different angle and see that, there's many ways to look at things and they all fit. And so it's really, if anything, it's really broadened my understanding of words and just how a lot of times words can really help people, or they can really hurt people depending on that person's point of view. And so, but the fact that every time I play this game it seems to bring up exactly what needs to be talked about or what needs to come to the surface I'm constantly amazed at that.
Doug, look, that's an amazing what you've been talking about. We're moving into the third cycle now, which is the inspiration cycle. And I wonder if you could just describe for everyone listening what that inspiration cycle is about.
Okay, well, the way I look at the inspiration cycle is it's kind of like, giving you a little support after, opening up. It's kind of giving you that little, in every experience, how there's always a special gem or seed contained within it. And I like to say that this round of the game gives me that little special seed that kind of just brings a balance to whatever was coming up and gives me a kind of a focus to step into to, help shift whatever it is that I'm going through.
Oh, terrific. Well, having said that, we're going to let you go first. And your inspiration card for today is: every problem is an opportunity for you to be the best person you can be.
Yeah.
Every problem is an opportunity for you to be the best person you can be.
Yeah, and that's true, because every time there is a problem, it allows me to step into who I am and find some type of solution, and usually a lot of it is just with me surrendering and allowing the solution to present itself. And so I definitely resonate with that card, because every time something does pop up and I just step back and allow the solution to present itself and then go forward with that, it just kind of empowers me even more and more, because you can prepare for anything as much as you want, but usually whatever happens is something that comes totally out of left field. So I find, instead of preparing for the worst, just be open to the most possible opportunity at the present.
Great, thank you. And Mickey, are you on? Can you would you like to share with us? Can you relate to that card as well?
I'm going to check. I've got to go back to I was actually Googling Doug. I'm trying to find Doug's website. Doug, can you share your website with us?
It's DougBHorn.com, and that's Horn with an E on the end.
With an E. Fantastic. Yeah. Thank you so much, Doug. Okay, mate.
Thanks,
Barry, who am I bringing on now?
Mickey, we're going to bring you back on.
Okay. Absolutely. What he said. And look,
and that's fine, actually.
When he said, because a lot of things come up, and oftentimes we become overwhelmed, and we don't realize that, instead of looking at them as obstacles, they're actually challenges for us to overcome and give us an opportunity.
So they're challenges for me to look at, aren't they?
Exactly. So, I look at that and I go like, wow, I'm going to go and hide under a rock somewhere, Barry, because this is really hitting close to home,
Oh, terrific. Oh, look, that's great. It's always fun when that happens. Your inspiration card, I've got one for you as well, is affirmations work better when they are about something that is already true for you. Affirmations work better when they are about something that is already true for you.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. I think sometimes I want, the wonderfulness of I want to save the world. I do. And I tend to, when I'm doing my affirmations, I do these really intense, I type them out and I put pictures and everything on them. And sometimes I'm not looking at what good is going on in my life and affirm, that blessing that is leading me to my goal. Because, I'm always so farsighted into the future. And, I need to look at, I affirm I have, I affirm I have received and I'm receiving this. And realizing that what is here and now is also true and the foundation to build what is needed for the future.
Oh, look, thank you very much. That's just wonderful. Great card. Teresa, I'm going to get you to comment on that card as well, please. So welcome back, Teresa.
Hello. Oh, wow. That one reminds me about 2 years ago, the words, I am empowered by everything, came to me. And I've incorporated that with my daily prayers. That's, if I don't get to do any prayers or affirmations, that is one that is a reality in my life, that I am empowered by everything as my higher self. And the more that I let go of even trying to be the spiritual being that other people want me to be, and I just walk in my own essence and grace and beauty and integrity, the more I do realize that I am empowered by everything. And so I'm really liking this part of the part of this, yeah.
Oh, this is my favourite part, so thank you. We're going to choose a card for you, Teresa, and your card says, a life lived by choice is a life lived by awareness.
A life lived by choice is a life lived by awareness. Yes. Through the awarenesses, little tiny bits at a time, over the last 2-3 years, I've been able to understand it because of the choices that I made. Things just weren't the way that I wanted them to be, and I didn't even have a conscious thought of how I was supposed to be. But through becoming aware, little tiny things at a time, and a memory here and a memory there, and, concentrating on not being in the past and not being in the future, and trusting that I wasn't going to miss anything, and trusting myself. Through all of that shifting and shaking and rattling, I was able to come to the conclusion that I am empowered by everything. I was able to understand that there is, for every single soul on the planet, a unique aspect of God within them that is their life force, that is their career, that is their happiness, their true happiness, that is their true being. And it's our job to understand that And it takes dedication and self-love, kind of like the theme of what was revealed earlier in this game, for all of us. And nobody is better than anybody else. You know, nobody's education qualifies them. Nobody's lack of education qualifies them. I know just as many people that are as powerful that never had a dark day of the soul at all, as if you wanted to put it on a measurable scale. But allowing the energy of that to come into our heart intelligence and learning to speak from that seat of power as beautiful creations of God, that is my job. That is a job for anybody if that's what they want to participate in. Does that make sense, you guys? Sometimes I go off on
wonderful, and you know what? It doesn't have to make sense to anyone else except for you, but I certainly got a lot out of it, so thank you.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Yvonne, I'll get you to comment on that as well, please. A life lived by choice is a life lived by awareness.
That means a lot for me on my journey, certainly my spiritual journey, because if I'm conscious of the choice as I'm making, so my life is based on choice, it's coming from the wellspring of awareness within me that keeps growing and growing and growing. So, yeah, that's what that means for me right now.
Okay, and your inspiration card is ultimately all human actions occur out of fear or out of love. So ultimately all human actions occur out of fear or out of love.
Okay. That also, for myself, I would have to say I agree with that. And as an educator, teacher, and one working with a lot of people and teaching young children, that's what I do teach as well, that our actions are based. I don't always say fear. They do come out of love. I sometimes will teach them that's a person who's hurting. So perhaps there's some fear involved in that. But really, if those are the two base things, fear and love, and every choice that we do make has to be either one or the other. And I think that what we're doing, what I'm doing, caught myself, is moving from where my choices are sometimes based in fear to having them based on love and trust in myself, in the universe, and a greater unfolding plan.
Oh, thank you very much. And Nay, I'm going to get you to comment on that.
Thank you so much. Look, that is just, for me, such a powerful statement, because I personally, for myself, I believe that all of my actions either come from fear or love. And I'm learning more and more to notice myself in the now, and when I'm coming from fear, realizing that that is a massive opportunity for me to make a different choice, giving me the opportunity to come from love. It is not always easy. My head often, my mind chatter will often give me, 100 brilliant reasons why I'm perfectly justified or, to be in that space. And I can be in that space. It's my choice. But I don't ever feel good when I'm in it. So for me, I prefer to bring my awareness back to where I'm coming from. Sometimes I'm really good at it and really successful at it. Other times I let it slip under the radar. And I'm learning that that's either way is okay, providing I bring my attention back to, what's the gift in this situation. For me, this is what works. And for me, this is what I feel good about. Thank you.
Oh, look, thank you. And your inspiration card for yourself is your life's purpose is not to learn who you are, but simply to remember.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. As I mentioned earlier, I can spend a lot of time in my head. And, of course, if I'm in my head, I'm not as anchored in my heart. Remembering who I am in truth is my journey. It's a journey I embrace. And coming from my heart, that beautiful place in my being is like a one-way ticket for me to, beauty, to greatness, to love, to wholeness. And giving myself, cutting myself some slack when I'm, noticing that I'm not living that way. So, thank you.
Oh, look, thank you. And I'm actually going to comment on that one myself because I've been really looking at my own life's purpose lately, and I guess the idea of learning who I am is trying to work out who am I meant to be and what am I meant to do with this life and how am I meant to do all of this and all that sort of pressure that I put on myself. And what I really like about this card, it's simply to remember. In other words, it's already there, and something was told to me once, and it was said all answers can be found in your stillness, and it's just when I become stilled, then those answers seem to come up more for me rather than me trying to work it all out. So for me, it's actually a reminder just to be still and to remember who I am rather than trying to work it out, so to speak. So I think that's a great card for me as well. And I'm going to choose an inspiration card for myself. And it follows on absolutely perfectly. It says, there is nothing you have to do and no one you have to be except who you are right now. And, just the thing I liked about this is that we've all had an opportunity to talk about 2 inspiration cards, and this really follows on so perfectly from the previous card for me, in the sense that it's not about what I'm doing or what I'm even trying to be, but it's just who I am right now, and it's just coming back to the moment and just saying right now, I'm with this wonderful group of people playing this game and connecting to some amazing souls around the world, and to really just enjoy that process and to allow the next stage to sort of unfold itself. So, again, both cards have been really great reminders for me just to be still and just to be who I am right now. So they've been really cool. And we're going to bring us around then to Kathy to comment on that card as well.
I think that's a very timely card once again for me. I am really, I am having to really dig inside myself to really, I think it just goes back to discernment for me around, where my mind is in relation to what I'm actually doing. That card represents for me anyway, really where my head is. I have to really focus hard on my thoughts and make sure that my thoughts are aligned properly. I'm not giving into some of those thoughts that debilitate me, that if I, take on some of those thoughts that debilitate me, I catch them quick. And I convert those over to thoughts that inspire me. And I think it's a lot around, I call it mind control just because it's the best definition I can come up with for myself, to actually flip from one mindset to the other.
Awesome. Thank you. And we've got an inspiration card for you, Kathy. And it says, when you have an unanswered question, find the answer within.
Oh, isn't that just, that could be the card for my life. I'm very people-centric, and so I've always operated off of the premise that the information is out there somewhere, right? And, I'm a goth girl at the core, so, there are a lot of places that you can go outside yourself to look for God and look for your own path. And, what I've learned in the last few months is, everything I need to know is really inside me. And so, there are no answers. There's no wise counsel to seek anymore. I really have to take the time to actually be silent and quiet and be a friend to me. And so that card is beautiful. That could chronicle my life.
And they've just been just wonderful cards. And just to complete the circle, Doug, I'm going to bring you back on to get you to comment on that final card, please. When you have an unanswered question, find the answers within.
Right before we get Doug on, could we please just get Kathy's website as we've gotten everyone else's?
Sure. Kathy, would you like to share your website, please?
Okay. It's www.nationalspeakerregistry.com.
Okay, thank you. Oh, and of course, Yvonne's is inspiringgreatness.com. Thanks. Okay, here we go with Doug.
Okay, could you repeat the cards once more, Barry?
That's okay. When you have an unanswered question, find the answer within.
Yes. And I know that's the perfect thing because for me anyhow, I find that whenever I try to prepare or to, kind of figure things out in advance, I may or may not get it right, but when I just allow whatever it is to come from within, to me, that's really, and it's been proven to me time and time again that is truly the best way to do it. And it also kind of keeps me in the here and now, knowing that whatever I need, whatever I require on my journey I have it already right now here within me. It's just allowing myself to allow that to come forth. So basically, I just need to get it out of the way.
Oh, thank you very much. And thank you, Doug. That's it's been a wonderful cycle. It's just, the last half hour has been just so enriching. And again, I just want to thank everyone for that. And after the break, what we're going to do is we're going to find out just a little bit more about each person to conclude our special 2-hour game live on air. And we're going to do that very shortly. Doug, just while I've got you there still, you're also... Both you and Yvonne are facilitators of conversations. Do you want to explain what that is for people, please?
Basically, a facilitator is somebody who has done some training with the conversations game, and they can facilitate the game for other people. And so it's kind of like Barry was doing here tonight, kind of helping to people to keep on track and to keep them focused on their I statements, because the big part about that is that when you do come from an I statement, there's so much more power behind it, not just for the people listening, but for the person saying it too. Because I know when I speak from I statements, that really carries a lot more energy out with it. And then the facilitators, it's really a nice thing, because it seems as many games as I put on, I'm constantly learning different things about myself as well, so it's really like a gift.
Well, look, that's wonderful. So thank you very much. And the website, again, for those people who want to find out more, is www.conversationsthegame.com.au. And, this game's been great. We are looking at even doing an online version. You can find out more from that website and look at how we can actually all start having this conversation with everyone on a regular basis, which I think would be awesome.